Hello, everyone. This is Lydia again, and I've been following up on this story that I've been putting together. I started thinking this might be a good topic for one of my semi-realistic novels about crimes, environmental crimes, and I started finding more and more that the conspiracy theorists are not wrong. I'm not saying they're right, but they're also not wrong. And their truth lies somewhere in between. So I did a lot of digging. I published a couple of articles that you will see on my Facebook, and I just published the last one, which I also published on my LinkedIn. And after doing a lot of digging and going over all the information, I finally labeled this article a call for a congressional investigation. And that's because there was just too much evidence that no one in their right mind with any sort of technical degree or any sort of experience running a system of flood control dams would allow things to get to the point where they ended up releasing billions of gallons of water onto an unsuspecting town during the storm. Billions. This is because, as we explained in prior videos, these dams are designed to do exactly that, hold the rainwater so that the towns don't get flooded. They were designed in the 1940s, and they have capacities of 4 to 8 billion gallons of water. More than enough room to accommodate the water that came down during the storm, 30 inches. More than enough room. The only way that you can have this problem when you overflow and you let all the water out is that you didn't drain the dams. And how do I know they never drained them? Because there's article after article explaining that they didn't drain the dams. They were having too much water. One town actually evacuated their residents before there was a problem. Remember, there are 150 municipalities in that area, okay, and there are 3 states. So there was a lot of talk and serious articles about the condition of the dams, their inability to somehow properly drain them, and the rains. Now, these dams have been in place since in 1945 or something when they built them. They were designed to hold billions of gallons of water, meaning that the rain data in those days was actually saying that there were billions of gallons of water that could drop with any storm. And so they designed them to hold more than enough water, at least enough water to be equivalent to 4 or 5 of these storms. So they were well designed and they were well operated until recently, when the articles started coming out that they were not actually draining the dams. The residents complained that they didn't see the lakes being. Lakes are where the dam water that is held back, and they usually create a lake, and people live around that lake, and they enjoy the lake for fishing or boating. But the residents said that for a long time they hadn't drained the lake, and they usually see a drainage in order to make room for rain, okay, which has to be a regular process. And there are, since 1945, a lot of years of rain data, which they can't hide behind the fact that this was an unusual storm because I have gone through all the rain data using AI. I was able to get chart after chart to show that the rain was just as bad then as it is today. And so I don't see how they can claim that this was a one-of-a-kind storm that overpowered dams that were already full before the actual storm, because the articles prove it, because they did actually evacuate one of the towns because of it, and because they were asking for money to fix the dams, meaning they wanted them taller so that somehow they could accommodate. This is the other point that I saw was there was a fight between the people that wanted the new mine, which they were permitting. This is a lithium mine, and this would really help with the EV vehicles and the batteries that they're trying to create create a supply of in the United States, because a lot of these mines are in countries that are in turmoil. So if the United States is going to go electric vehicle, they're going to have a mine. And one of the biggest mines was located in South Carolina. So there was a long fight to get this mine in. The people by the water, the ones that live by the lakes, fish, and they use it for recreation, for boating, those people do not want the mine, because it is well known that in those countries where they set up the mines, it's open strip mining. The rain ends up washing down all of the pollutants into the lowest water basin, which would be those lakes and the river. And this would be a constant flow of pollutants. Apparently, the mining company did not have enough information or enough solutions to stop this flow of pollutants that satisfied the towns near the water. So the people near the water were the ones that were going to lose out by the pollution created by the strip mine upstream or up the mountain. Okay? They were going to get all of the pollution. So those people, you could see all the articles of how they fought at different meetings for a long time. This was going on. They wanted to get permits for this, but it wasn't happening. Okay? People did a good job of blocking them, and they were having a lot of trouble. Okay? So let's go now to May of 2024, when a lot of the people that were in the board of directors of the Tennessee Valley Authority, these people that were originally there, that were Republican, were nominated or installed by Biden. Okay? They were put in by Biden. And they left, I think, one or two vacancies, which should not be. There should be 9 of them, and there was only 7. Okay? If you look at the information I put out, which I researched, of each of the people on that board, they are all Al Gore, Green New Deal, and environmental people that are on the side of electric vehicles, because there are the other type of environmentalists that basically all they want to do is keep the water clean and the air clean, and they don't want the mine. So there's an environmentalist that would be the Biden style environmentalists. They have their own agenda, which they want electric vehicles, windmills, and all those things to no longer rely on fossil fuels. And the other type of environmentalists would be the ones that want to maintain the wilderness. They want to maintain the resources of the area, which are really big for tourism. There's a lot of tourism and a lot of houses that are very high priced there. People come to build their homes there, their dream homes, because of the pristine condition that the mountains are in. So you have already what seems to be a war over there, over these mines, because the mines are very, very lucrative, and they also represent a huge investment and a lot of jobs for the area. And the other group does not want them because they're going to ruin the natural beauty of the area. This is a typical fight, you know. But it's so bad that what I saw are videos of activists slashing the tires of the truckers bringing the supplies after the flood. Why would this happen? And the truckers said they were active. Because they're activists who want the mines. They want the lithium. They want the batteries. They don't want these people around ruining their plan. Okay? They want them out. They want them to leave, to go to other areas. And I saw several videos of that sabotage, and this kind of thing has been happening, and there's articles about it that happened before the flood, and it's happening now. And then you have a video that was, I think, released yesterday, in which a helicopter of unknown origin comes and destroys all of the donations that people gave for the people in Appalachia that couldn't be found, and somehow they used their helicopter to blow everything around. So when I saw this, and I saw this in 3 videos, and this was not fake, they were actually doing this, I realized that this is a war. This is a war between the Biden-style environmentalists and the regular environmentalists that want nature pristine and untouched. Okay? It would be similar to the same fight that we have here in New Jersey, where we have the environmentalists that want the 100 or 200 wind turbines in an area where the whales seem to be migrating, and the other type of people that don't want to destroy the beauty of the area or disturb the migration paths of the whales, and have been fighting because of the many whale deaths that have occurred just this year alone, about 50. So we can equate that fight. The Green New Deal environmentalists are really people that want to install a different type of energy source, which they call renewable. However, there are many issues with those energy sources in that they end up wasting more energy than they provide. And the manufacturer of these resources ends up being more wasteful and pollutes even more. So they're trying to justify their solutions to Green New Deal by coming up with these projects where other people might say, well, you know, we would be better off if we had these other types of energy resources. And there are alternatives to EVs. There have been a big push for hydrogen-powered cars. There are a lot of alternatives, except they don't talk about. They only want to push their own technical solution. All right, so with that in mind, and the money that's to be made with the Green New Deal solutions, and the sabotage that I saw myself on the videos of the people trying to bring in the materials, and also FEMA's outreach to say that they were doing their job, and it wasn't true that they were not doing their jobs, which already is a clue to me that something is going on, because you don't put out a message calling all the victims liars if you're trying to help them. All right. Maybe you try to clarify. Maybe you show them examples of things you've done. Maybe you tell them that you have limited resources. Or how about this? How about you cooperate with the local resources, the local people who are trying to help others? You cooperate them and help them out. Okay. But I have not seen that. I see nothing but the government being very aggressive in their approach, and the local people being very aggressive towards the government. This means that there is a war going on. They don't trust the government, because guess who owns the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, the federal government? So they already can see that the flood is caused by the federal government, because then they have heard the radio announcements saying that the dams were opened during the storm. So in their minds, they caused it. Whatever reasons the TVA has for having done this, which caused the flood ultimately, they need to talk to the senators. I contacted Senator Jim Scott and Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, and I posted a report with all of the names of the people involved, the 7 members of the TVA, the board of directors, who are the people, the buck stops with them. They are the ones totally responsible. They have been there since May, and they had plenty of time to drain those lakes before the storm. They had plenty of time, and the people before them also had plenty of time. Why didn't this happen? Should be number one question. Why didn't they drain the lakes? Okay. Number 2 is the people involved with the mining permitting process. What is going on with them? And why is it that I see a connection between the board members and the people running the mine projects? Because they all belong to the Biden administration, and they all seem to have served in some sort of environmental group promoting the Biden agenda. So there are connections there. These people have met at meetings. They belong to the same organizations. So there is a connection between the people running the mines, or wanting to start the mines, and the people on the board of directors of the TVA. Now, could this be an evil conspiracy to kill everybody so that you wouldn't have opposition? Well, that's far-fetched. But it seems to me that if you don't do anything about draining the dams, you're just as guilty, even if you were mismanaged, if you were stupid and mismanaged the system. You should go to jail anyway, even if you didn't do it on purpose. That's what I'm saying, because this is just too important. Just too many people have died, and somebody has to be held accountable, because this was definitely not the storm. The many articles claiming that the storm pushed the water up 20 feet from the ground are people that have absolutely no brain. It was clear, it mentioned in the radio and on all the reports in the TVA itself, that they were forced to open those gates on all of the dams at once because they were already full. So someone has to be held accountable. So I am calling for a congressional investigation. I posted my report on LinkedIn. I also have a PDF form for anyone that wants it emailed to them. I'm going to post it on Docs and have a public link. So if you want to download the PDF, you can. And I have all of the references linked on there and all of the names of the people, and I did a report that hopefully is enough to get people doing more of investigation, more reports, and getting some accountability for this terrible disaster. I know people are not paying that much attention to it anymore because we're sickened to this new Milton, and that's got everybody busy, but keep this bookmarked and put this report in your favorites, and remember to do something about this by linking it to as many people as you know, especially people in the area, and doing further research yourself. I have plenty of research links there, and the names of everybody involved is there with their backgrounds, and you can further research those by Googling those names and finding out as much as you can a bit about each of those people, and find out who is going to be held accountable for what happened in Appalachia. Thank you very much, and I hope that you benefit from these reports that I do. I try to be very thorough, and unfortunately, I did not expect that this research would lead to me finding out that, yes, there is somebody that needs to be held accountable. I thought I was going to find that this was a mishap, that this was just mismanagement, and I didn't find that out. I found out my worst fears. So I'm sorry if it sounds awful, but I'm sorry the research led to this. And you can further do the research and check my data. I did a lot of the research with the help of ChatGPT. There is another ChatGPT that specializes in web browsing and deep research. I use that. I use ChatGPT, which is an excellent tool for research, and then I went through those links myself to read those articles. So I think I'm pretty sure that this data is okay, and you can check it yourself. The names of the people, I also went to TVA and looked at their photos and everything, and looked at the people and looked at their background. So that alone will give you some idea of who these people are. Okay. Also, there are two articles. The first one I published yesterday, and that has the complete biographies of each of the people in the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. Bye-bye now.